like to sing it?
You want me to sing?
No. Yeah. But you might have a really good voice.
Merchandise here too.
Leave those drinks here.
Join us.
You're on screen, just let me know.
I'm trying to pass you the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's going to hear you say yard
The worst things I said on there was I hadn't realised it was recording, and I
All right, you hold it. Just hands off, don't worry. Still recording.
Oh, I had a mate.
Oh, I love it.
And then on
Hello everybody, welcome, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'd love that.
And yeah, let's go. So, if you will have a little look around you, you will see that not one single police officer has bothered to turn up today. Even though I requested them to come, given that we had an aggressive, prolific transvestite man last time being completely abusive, the police decided that they had better things to do today. So I'm really thankful that everybody has turned up today, because we need to rely on safety on numbers now, because we can't rely on the government to protect us. To stand in the streets and speak truth and say that a man is not a woman and that men do not deserve access to ours and our children's spaces. It's crazy that we live in a world where we are considered the bad guys in this, but we know what's going on, and I hope we can spread awareness to more people that Save Our Tomboys is completely correct. We know of a plastic surgeons down the road that are operating, thank you. The public agrees with us. The public overwhelmingly agrees that it's not acceptable to be slicing the breasts off of 13, 14, 15-year-old girls because they feel like they could be born in the wrong body, which is a complete myth, fabrication, brainwashing that is infiltrating our tomboys who are likely to just grow up to be normal, healthy, maybe lesbian, who knows. Anyway, we will keep standing here for as long as it takes, for this insane ideology to be gone, and we won't stop until we get to where we need to go. There's too much at stake, there's too much at risk. Our children are at risk from this, and we won't have it. We're not having that. So anyway, let me pass the mic on to someone else who wants to speak.
I can. Just got to get my My sister this week had to have a double mastectomy because of cancer, and seeing the trauma that caused for her has made me even more passionate about how they are cutting the breasts off girls as young as 13 in Australia. What she's gone through, and her family and all of us, has just been horrific. And I cannot believe that governments are sanctioning the slicing off of breasts of young girls, young healthy girls. I wanted to read something that I think it was QLD Smith put up on Binary, and she says, imagine any other health crisis where children were affirmed by getting what they demanded. Children with eating disorders are not affirmed with laxatives, gastric band surgery or liposuction. Children who are identified as disabled are not affirmed with amputations or spinal damage. Children who suffer depression, self-harm or schizophrenia are not affirmed with razor blades, weapons, alcohol or depressants. Children are not permitted to get tattoos, drink alcohol, drive vehicles, marry or vote because their brain has not sufficiently developed to make such life-altering decisions. Why are children allowed to decide to have puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones? Why is safeguarding completely dropped when every other aspect of a child's life is protected by government and state?
Exactly. Here, here.
Thank you. I've got something here that I want to read, but first, this morning my little girl, she was playing with some friends that she made at the cafe, and it was adorable, and the other kids, they were all sat with their backs to me, and I just assumed they're all little girls, and so I said to her, make sure you just don't interrupt the little girls with their things. And one of the little girls turned to me and said, I'm actually a boy, I just like wearing my hair long. And I was like, go you good thing. And the mother was there as well, she ran the cafe, and she was like, oh yeah, he's just a boy with long hair. And I was like, brilliant. And he was confident enough to say it, because it's just truth. Boys can have long hair, girls can have short hair, boys can wear dresses, girls can wear pants. The majority of the women here, I think every single one I can see, is wearing pants. Shock horror, none of us are transgender. So yeah, it was a nice little interaction. Restores your faith in the next generation. So I wanted to read something that some of you would have already heard. Perhaps you watched live from Belfast at the Let Women Speak event. It's written by a secondary student, an absolute legend. You were there, amazing, I'm so jealous. It is called I Am Not a Dress. We are women, we are warriors of steel. Woman is something no man will ever feel. Woman is not a skill that any man can hone. Woman is our word, and it's ours alone. I am not a dress to be worn on a whim. A man in a dress is nonetheless a him. Women are not simply what we wear. If this offends you, I do not care. I am not an idea in any man's mind, and my purpose in life is not to be kind. So while my rights are trampled every day of the week, I will not stand by being docile and meek. I am not defined by sexist lies. There is more to woman than that shallow guise, that guise of dresses, bikinis and skirts. Those clothes are not what womanhood is worth. I am not a bitch, a turf, a whore, a slag, hysterical, a witch, a slut, a hag. No, I am a woman. I am a female who will not let her rights be put up for sale. I am not defined by what men are not. So to hell with cis misogynistic rot. I am a woman. I am not a subset of my sex. If this makes me a dinosaur, so be it. I'm a T-Rex. I am not a bleeder, nor a menstruator, a womb carrier or uterus haver. Those words and phrases are such a sham. Just call me a woman. It is who I am. We are women. We are warriors of steel. Woman is something no man will ever feel. Woman is not a skill that any man can hone. Woman is our word, and it's ours alone.
I have a poem that was written by a woman even older than myself, and written quite a few years ago, and I think it's pretty apt, so if I can manage it, I'll do it. It's called Janet Wears Boxers. You all know what they are? Okay. Janet wore boxers and cut off her curls. Janet loved football. She also loved girls. The kids at her school thought she was schizo. They posted on Facebook that she was a leso. Janet felt saddened. She wanted some friends, but wouldn't wear makeup and keep with the trends. Her parents were worried by behaviour so strange. Why was she in the non-conforming range? Why don't you wear dresses and put stuff in your hair? Don't you want to look pretty? Why don't you care? Her sense of rejection just made her feel sad. She felt her behaviour must mean something bad. Searching for answers, she looked on the net. It told her that gender was fluid, not set. This information makes sense to me. I'm in the wrong body. I must be a he. She went to the clinic and talked to the psych. You've gender dysphoria. You can't be a dyke. Her parents were happy. They now had a son. The children at school found it all kind of fun with puberty blockers and lots of male hormones, with manly muscles, mood swings and soft bones. They cut off her breasts and made her a tran. Though she was John, she was just half a man. Once girls who were different were burnt at the stake, or sent to a convent, or ducked in the lake, or sent to the madhouse, or put in the stocks. Hysterics in asylums, lesbians given shocks. They drugged Stepford wives who refused to perform. Now we mutilate girls who do not conform.
So I've been doing some stickering around my local area. So I've got the adult human female, and I've got a couple. I also had some trans women men, and what is a woman with a QR code in the middle. Now, where I put them, I don't put them on any private property. I put them on lampposts and rubbish bins and bollards. And it's on the way to the train, my local train station, so there's a lot of foot traffic, and there's a school nearby. And every time, almost every time, I put one up, when I go back the next day, it's gone. And I know it hasn't fallen off, because a couple of times I've seen it ripped into 4 pieces and dropped on the ground, or I've really put it on really hard, and they've left the backing behind, so they had a good go of trying to get it off. But it dismays me that someone, or probably more than one person in my community, absolutely hates women, because they cannot stand the sight of a little sticker with centimetre high words on it that describe what a woman is. And that is so bloody piss weak, I can't believe it. But I'll keep doing it, because it's going to annoy the hell out of them, and I'll get more stickers, and I'll just keep putting them up, and it makes me feel good. And hopefully somebody walking past has a look and goes, I wonder what that's about. I might just check that out. So, yeah. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I won't say my name. I live just outside Dublin in Ireland, so just wanted to give the update on what's happened recently this week. T-shirt, I'm a member of the Countess group. We're an advocacy group for women and children in Ireland. We've had a big win this week. You probably are aware of the male that was inhabiting the women's prison in Limerick. Good news this week is that he has been transferred where he belongs, to the men's prison. So we're absolutely delighted. It's been one of our key campaigns over the last 3 years with the Countess, so that was great news this week. I just see on the sporting front that the swimming authorities in the US have announced that our beloved friend Leah Thomas, or Liar Thomas, won't be able to swim against female athletes. I know, boo-hoo-hoo. So that's a great win. And I believe the UK rowing have also announced this week that they have, I believe, revised their transgender policy to exclude males from rowing against females. So just to finish off, I won't bore you with any more of the great wins we've had this week. Just a little local story here in Brisbane. So myself and my friend were at the Ireland versus Nigeria game in Suncorp Stadium, and I had a few Posey Parker adult human female stickers with me. So I gave it to my friend, and she had spotted the gender neutral toilets. Now there were female only toilets and there were male only toilets, but she spotted the gender neutral toilets. So while I was busy talking to my friends, she went over and put a big adult human female sticker on the gender neutral sign, which was endorsed by FIFA, by the way. She was absolutely mesmerised by particularly young kids coming over, pointing the sticker like, "We can't go in there. We can't go in there. Look, there's a woman sticker." So she was absolutely delighted with that. She posted it on the photograph on Twitter, and our beloved Kelly J retweeted it or reposted it, as she calls it now. So well done, my friend. So all I can say to you guys is this is brilliant. This is fantastic. You're talking in the public square. We will be having our own Dublin event on the 16th of September. You're more than welcome to come over. I'll put you up. It's not a problem. Plenty of tourists back home that'll put you up. You just need to pay for your own airfare. I'm sorry about that. So you're more than welcome to come over and visit us. So best of luck. You're doing fantastic work here, and well done. Thank you.
I think that's everybody who wants to talk. I'll just close it with saying about something that happened the other day when we were leafleting at the Suncorp Stadium, spreading awareness about males in women's sport. We had these awesome flyers that Women's Rights Network designed, and we were followed by FIFA security and told that we can't be there. We were told that FIFA owns 2-kilometre radius around the stadium. So that includes people's houses, train stations, all owned by FIFA on match days. And we know that this isn't true because the lovely Sue phoned the state government and found out that this was bullshit. And then we were told that FIFA actually overrides the state government on match days. So we were actually chased away from the stadium with our leaflets and stopped from doing that, which just really goes to show how much of an uphill struggle we have actually got to go. Although the tide is turning, I feel like there's more and more people, especially as well prominent people, that are coming out and saying that this is craziness. So yeah, in closing, I just want to say thanks to everyone who came. There's a few more blokes here today, which is great. And does any man want to come up and talk, by the way? No. Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation to speak. I'd like to firstly congratulate you all, because although the numbers aren't big today here, as a man, I am very pleased to see women sticking up for themselves against the men who are trying to appropriate womanhood. I've got a long history of being very social in my time, and in my earlier years particularly, I had a group of friends who were gay. Some of them were transgender, and they would keep to themselves in the clubs, and that was it. This new wave of transgender is not keeping to themselves in the club. They are coming out and taking people's spaces. They are doing sex crimes against women and children, and that is the type of thing that, well, let's call it the old-fashioned transgender tended not to do, because they just stuck to themselves in the clubs. So now there's a whole new danger coming out to women and children And as we've seen, the books that have been put into department stores, which are obviously things that a good parent would want banned for their children, and then the opposition say, oh, we're trying to ban books. How Nazi-ish is that? Well, we're just trying to be good parents. So they use our good nature against us. They use ladies' good nature against them. They try and twist messages to gaslight the public. And whatever happens, expect it to get worse. No matter what your protest is, no matter how effective you are, and in the various issues that are going across society at the moment, this is just one. And the lady who spoke about putting stickers up, I've put up, not for this issue, but for other issues, over 10,000 stickers on bus stops and lamp poles and all sorts of things. I've done brochures and so on, and it just never ends. But it's important to recognise, why is this issue coming up? Because 10 years ago, when same-sex marriage got introduced and they used the love is love message, there were funny memes that went out at the time that had things like pie graphs. You know, what will happen if same-sex people are allowed to marry? And one of the things was, you know, the world will end. Well, that was just silly. And another silly one was they'll start teaching sex education, gay sex, to children in kindergarten. And it was a joke 10 years ago, but that's exactly what's happening. And in America, there's groups similar to yourselves, Mums for Liberty. They're pushing out the protests as well, and they're coming up against the same sort of problems that ladies in Australia have. So expect it to get worse, because this issue is just one issue. If you look across society, remember when the COVID stuff started, it was a message from the World Economic Forum and the United Nations that this is an opportunity to build back better. And to build back, they've got to break it. So they're trying to break society with whatever issue they have. Men against women, women against women, youth against elders, race, immigration, values are different, all sorts of issues. Anywhere they can break society, that's what they're trying to do, because ultimately they want to revert to communism, Marxism, which they've already admitted. It's already people on video. The Voice that's coming up, the vote.
We're getting off issue now.
Teela Reid has spoken about returning to the radical roots of communism. Black Lives Matter, they're a Marxist organisation with a stated aim of overthrowing the government. So the issue that you ladies are fighting is just another one of those many issues. So hold the good fight, and thank you very much for doing what you do.
Thank you. Sue, do you want to say bye?
I just want to point out one thing, is that the TIQA plus hides behind LGB, and unfortunately the LGB are being blamed for what the TIQA plus are doing.
Yep.
So there's a group called LGB without the T globally. So lesbian, gays and bisexuals are pushing back because they're same-sex attracted.
Yeah.
They're not born in the wrong body.
Yeah.
But the TIQA plus are using the LGB as a shield.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah, finish. I don't really want to get off again. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Are we going to sign off?
I'll just try. Go on, you can't.
Okay, if there are any more speakers, anyone else wants to speak? Come on, you want to do it, don't you? Okay, Aoife? Okay, so that's all for today. So thanks for coming, everyone, and we'll be back next month.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks, Sue.
Okay.